Welcome to Right on Track, a songwriting podcast. Thanks to Tone for tuning in. I'm Demi Michelle Schwartz, and I'm thrilled you're joining me on my songwriting journey. So kick back and relax, don't fall flat, and remember, stay right on track. Hey everyone, welcome back to Right on Track. Joining me on the show today for a chat is Laura Evans. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Demi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm really good. How are you doing?
I'm amazing and I'm super excited to chat with you today. Before we dive into all of the specific things I would love to chat with you about, I would love for you to share with the listeners a little about yourself and your journey in music so far.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm from a place in the UK called South Wales. I've been singing since I was about six, I think. And yeah, released my debut album back in 2022, and now my brand new album, Out of the Dark, is coming out this weekend. So yeah, I'm excited for this new journey.
Incredible. And I'm super curious to hear because I also have two albums out and I experienced a huge evolution from the first one to the second. So for you, from State of Mind to Out of the Dark, what kind of evolution did you experience and how are these two projects different from one another?
Well, with State of Mind, I feel like I kind of rushed it a little. I put out a few singles and then I was kind of under pressure to make an album. So I kind of rushed the songwriting process and did the best I could. It turned out great and everyone did like that album. But for this new album, I wanted to really lean into more poppier sounds and I wanted to spend more time on the songwriting and creating songs that would feel more timeless and crossover as well to to kind of a new audience. So yeah, I think I achieved that. It definitely has some new sounds and it's a slightly more polished production on this new album.
Yeah, that's amazing. I totally feel the whole rushing the first one. Because I did the exact same thing. I had a release date in my mind, and that's the date I wanted it to come out, and so I rushed everything. And though I love that album, it's definitely not the best compared to my EP and the new music I'm working on and my other album. And so I think a huge lesson is to just let the music happen how it needs to happen. Take the time you need on the songwriting, the production, the recording, everything until you're happy with it because it's always great to take the time you want with a project rather than rushing it because if you rush it you're not going to have the best result and taking the time to make sure you're creating something you're proud of is always super important.
Yeah, totally. Totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, amazing. So, speaking of the songwriting itself, how would you describe your songwriting process?
I tend to write in the room with my co-writer, so I don't really plan any big preconceived ideas. I wrote a lot of songs for this album with my producer Ian, and on the first day we met and got in the studio, we wrote the first single, which was Honest. And then I actually spent like 3 or 4 days with him in the studio, and we just kind of cracked out another 4, 5 songs. So that writing process was super easy. And then I did write a couple of the other songs with some other people and yeah, I was super proud of them. I had loads of songs that I'd already written that I thought I might produce for this album, but I ended up writing a whole brand new set of songs.
Yeah, that's amazing. Would you consider yourself being a songwriter who loves writing lyrics more or melody?
That's a tricky one. They come hand in hand for me. I always start with the melody, but then I take a lot of time to make sure the lyrics are great. I don't want to compromise on my lyrics, but the melody always comes first. It's easier for me to write a melody.
I'm the opposite. I'm a lyrics first girl.
Oh, are you? Yeah.
So, as a whole, what inspired the concept for your album Out of the Dark?
Well, Out of the Dark, the title came from a lyric from the song Wherever You Are, because there's a line in that says coming out of the dark. And there's a lot of kind of heartbreak songs on this album. Like half of the album is heartbreak and half of the album is coming out of the dark. Like happiness, I found love and I got married last year, so I wanted a lot of these songs to kind of represent where I am now in my life. And yeah, the Wherever You Are was a song I wrote just like the week I was getting married. And it's kind of just a message to say, like, if you look, you will find what you're looking for if you kind of keep the faith. And then that inspired the whole out of the dark concept.
I love that. I also love using a lyric as the title. That's something I've done before, and I love that. It's really cool to be able to point back to something on the album and say, this is the lyric where the title came from. I think that's fun when you can do that. So now I would love for you to briefly list the songs for the track list and let the listeners know the inspiration behind each of them.
Yeah, okay. You might have you got the list there? It's quite a lot of songs. So the first track, which I just spoke about, is "Wherever You Are." That's a song that I wrote just the week of my wedding. Actually, I was kind of inspired by this ethereal thing of like you'll find if you stay on your path, you'll find love, and it definitely has like a Stevie Nicks vibe about it. And yeah, it's quite uplifting and empowering. And then the second track on the album is called, I think it's Superman is second. And that's just kind of a quirky love song that I wrote about my husband. People used to say he looked when we first started dating, people said he looked like Superman. And when I started writing the song, I thought that would be a cool story to tell. So that's what that's about. And then the third track is Honest, which that's a song, that's the first single I wrote, and that's the first song I wrote with Ian, my producer. And that's kind of that's a breakup song, really. And it's kind of like a upbeat breakup song, which is like nothing else on the album. It's definitely a new sound that I explored there. I'm running out of, I don't know if I'm getting the order right, but I think track number 4 is ATM, and this is a sassy kind of woman empowerment song that I wrote with some lovely friends of mine, Patch and Samuel Jack. We went for an Elle King vibe on that song. And yeah, they killed it. They really pushed me out of my comfort zone with the lyrics, and I'm super proud of that one. And then track number 5 is a ballad called Nobody Loves Me Like You. I wanted the album to have a big, soulful, bluesy love song, and that one, that's it. Uh, Track 6, I believe, is What I'm Made Of, which is actually an older song. And that was written kind of at a time in my life when I was a little bit down about the industry. And so it's just kind of like a reminder to myself to kind of, keep keep my confidence up and show people what I'm made of. And then I think the next one, stop, correct me if I'm wrong, is Heartbreaker. That's kind of like a blues rock upbeat song. It was inspired by a show I was watching called Daisy Jones and the Six. And I was inspired by Daisy's character because I just thought she was kind of gorgeous and amazing. So, yeah, that song was inspired by that. And then the next one is just a little bit more, which is kind of like a bluesy heartbreak song. I wanted another bluesy kind of sassy song on there. And I actually co wrote that song with my husband quite a while ago. And then we've got Always and Forever, which is just an upbeat, happy love song. I kind of started writing my vows for my wedding and then realized these kind of could be really great lyrics for a song. So that's what inspired that song. And we actually sang that song at my wedding. Me and my husband performed it as our first dance to kind of get out of the awkward dancing. We just played a song instead. And then I had to write kind of an interlude because I wanted to have a cool 60-second interlude on the album. And I'd written a poem which is kind of about coming out of the dark. So the interlude is just kind of something new that I wanted to do on this new record, which is kind of a dreamy ballad. And then we've got, I think, the ultimate country love song, which is I'll Be the One, which is a song I wrote with in Nashville a few years ago, and it's been sitting in my Dropbox folder for so long, and I was waiting for the right moment to put it on an album. And yeah, it's just kind of a really simple, pure love song. And then the final song on the album is kind of like a southern rock upbeat song called Hear Me Out. So that explored some new sounds that I wanted to try out on this album. It's got a little poppy vibe, but also kind of sticking with my kind of southern country rock roots as well. Yeah, I think that's it.
Amazing. My favorite is Nobody Loves Me Like You. It's
Oh, is
so
it?
good.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I dug deep for that one. It's a really personal song, and I'm not sure I've ever written a song so personal. Um, yeah, and I'm singing it live at the minute. I'm doing some shows, and I'm really enjoying singing it live. And people are really quiet when I sing that. It's like the room stops and listens. So
Yeah. It's
I'm
so
really
good.
glad.
Like, the
Oh, thank you.
production, your vocals, like, the whole thing. So
Oh, thank
good.
you.
You're welcome. And speaking of performing live, the next question I wanted to ask you is about your tour coming up. Being able to play these songs live. And you mentioned that the one we were just talking about, Nobody Loves Me Like You, is one you love to play live. But are there any other ones that you love to perform live that you're excited to play on tour? Or maybe some that you haven't performed live yet that you're excited to play for the first time?
Yeah, I haven't played ATM with a full band yet, or Superman, so I'm super excited to play those two live. Um, yeah, wherever you are, I love playing that one live with the full band. Um, yeah, it's quite exciting actually because I haven't played many of them with my full band yet, so it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, amazing. So when you're listing the songs on the album, you mentioned different genres. You have the bluesy ones, you have a country one, you have rock influenced ones. And I think that's super interesting because I love blending genres as well. So can you share a little about what that's like for you? Because when you listen to the album, it does have a cohesive sound. It's very authentically you, but you are drawing on these different genre influences, which is super cool. So, can you share kind of the foundation of that and your different genre influences and how you're able to weave those all together to create a sound that's still cohesively yourself?
Yeah, it's tricky actually, but it all comes down to the song. So when I write the song, it's kind of the bare bones. We either start on keys or guitar, and then I decide what I want it to sound like production wise, you know. And I think my voice kind of ties it all together. Um, but it all comes down to the song, and I find references that I like, what I want it to sound like, or the vibe, and I kind of co-produce it with Ian, my producer. And if it's sounding too rocky or too country, we pull it back, and so it kind of sits somewhere in the middle. Um, but yeah, it's hard to define really because I know there's a lot of genres. So I'd like to think if everyone connects with the song, then it just feels just sounds like me, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I definitely agree about your voice tying it all together. And I also agree too about really focusing in on the genre elements when you're in the production stage. When I'm writing a song, I'm not thinking, oh, this is going to be a sad country song or this is going to be a very contemporary pop song. I'm just writing the song. I got the melody, I got the chords, I got the lyrics, and maybe it has genre elements obviously from the beginning and I'm getting a sense of where it could fit, but in terms of like imagining the full production, like I don't get close to that until it's written. And like you said, you're starting to look for references when you're in the studio co producing stuff and being really mindful of the direction it's going and pulling back if it's going in a direction you don't want and like adding other elements if you want to bring a genre out more. So, yeah, we have very similar processes for sure. So, my last question for you is what advice do you have to share with any songwriters listening?
You know, I would say get out and write with other people. Find the people who bring out the best in you, and write music that you like, or don't write what you think you should write. I think if something comes from the heart and you get a good co-write and you work with a team, that's good. You could just work with one person and it's like a great writing team. So it's hard to just be alone and write, I think. So I think get out there and find your people and make your make sure you have your own sound and your own voice.
Amazing. Well, congrats on your new album and good luck on tour.
Thank you so much, Demi. So nice to chat to you.
Yeah, you too. And before we go, I would love for you to share with everybody where they can connect with you online.
Yeah, sure. So you can find me on Facebook, Laura Evans UK, Instagram, Laura Evans UK, and TikTok, Laura Evans UK, Spotify, Apple Music, Laura Evans, and the album is Out of the Dark. You can find my website too, which is thelauraevans.com.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And listeners, that's a wrap on this chat with Laura Evans. And of course, until next time, stay
Stay
right
right
on
on
track.
track.